guys, enough said. Meet the Simmons. We're back with another video. Today we are talking about the role of a father. Like we talked about before, as the holidays come up, you're gonna be spending a lot of time with your family, friends, and sometimes in around the holidays, things get a little hairy when it comes to family. You're seeing people you ain't seen in a while, or maybe you live out of town and you're coming into town, and you're in close quarters with your family. You're not used to that. Those 2 or 3 days, around family, old things tend to come up. So this video is talking about the role of a father, and it's coming from an aspect that most people don't really address. And so I think this will be a good one.
Let's go.
The father's job is not to nurture. The father's job is to be a microcosm of the real world. Love your child, yes, but prepare your child for the world out there, because nobody cares that you were the chosen one and you came along at a time where the family really needed a baby, and nobody cares. Can you do the job or no? It's real binary. I don't care what they say on the internet. The world is very binary. Do it or no. Can or cannot. Do or do not. There is no try. Your 17th place trophy in wiffle ball don't mean nothing to these people. Just like old, Rick with his 4 touchdowns in a single game. Like, nobody cares. We've got to create an environment that is grounded in reality and maximum skills, especially for our daughters. And then we also have to get to a point where we start shaming people for not doing the right thing. And the right thing ain't child support. The right thing is taking care of your kid without the interference of the government. The right thing is educating your kid without worrying about whether or not they get a degree.
Well, he made some really good points.
Yeah, he did.
He made a really good point there. And the one that I would like to address first of all is the nurturing aspect. A father's love is nurture. When he gives you that's the way we nurture. Men and women nurture differently. And I think when I went out in the comments, I think somebody kind of addressed that. For us, give you the reality of what life is and how this world really works, that is the way we nurture. We love our children. We absolutely do. I just get so angry when you see people talk about men like we don't love our kids, and we don't even know they're around. No. It's a different level. It's a different level when you come over here. Now, when you're from ages like 1 newborn all the way up to probably like 8 to 9, be a kid, play around, have your little dream world, all the things you want to do, dream big, do all those things. But then once you start getting around that age of puberty, especially if you are a male child, come here, son. I want to show you the reality of the world you live in. It's not rainbows and lollipops. You will be judged. You will have to perform. You will be judged by your performance. You will be held accountable whether you like it or not. This ain't mama's breast here. This is the real world. You got to get off the knee, and you got to go out here in this world, because it's hard and it's cruel, and that's the reality of it. And a lot of fathers get a bad rap for that. There's toxic masculinity or whatever. There's a lot of young men that are struggling right now because it either A, didn't have a father, or B, the father that was around was no good anyway, and he never gave him the reality of the world. Have you heard of the term failure to launch?
Yes.
I talked about that in my second book. Failure to launch is, and it was a movie, I don't know if you remember the movie, Matthew McConaughey, where it's just where a child has been so coddled and has been so insulated that they cannot leave the nest. Because they lack the social skills, they lack the financial skills, they lack to actually get out there into the real world and deal with real world stuff. Because like he said, nobody cares. Nobody cares that you're sitting there crying at your desk at work. And that's the reality. That's what a father brings into the conversation. It's like, look, even with our daughters, our daughter's 17. My goodness, I only have one daughter. And God knew what he was doing. Because if it was 2, I couldn't.
She's a lot in one.
Love my baby girl to death. She is the apple of her father's eye. But she challenges me because I have to break the world down to her in little small bites that she can handle. Because she has an idea about what she thinks the world is, and we both know that's not what it is. You've been insulated. You have 2 older brothers. You have a present father. You have a great mother that have insulated you from the real world. And sometimes you just got to sit back and hush and know what it is. And so a lot of times that's our job as fathers to bring it out to them in the real world. And unfortunately, many men are not equipped emotionally to do it in a way that is palatable. Yeah. And unfortunately, society doesn't want men to give it to you in a way. Give it to you. Sometimes you got to give it to them raw. Sometimes it is like, look, don't nobody care about that. You got to get up and go.
Yeah, because it's not welcomed. It's not welcomed, and we as women, a lot of time, we don't want you to do that to our boys or our daughters. We don't want you to be harsh or to, and it's not even being harsh, but in our minds we think it is. We don't want you to have that raw reality check. We just want to keep them coddled and cushy and comfy. But then when they get into the world and they're ill-equipped, that's damage. That's not love. When you send it, like you said, the whole failure to launch, when you send a child out into a vicious world that's ready to devour them and they are not fully prepared, that's toxic. We always talk about toxic masculinity as, when you're all harsh and you're all this. No. You don't want to know what's toxic? Send a child out into this world and not prepare them fully for it. And then they go into the workplace and then us as supervisors got to raise them. Yeah. Because parents didn't do it.
I'll take a step further. It's a form of abuse.
Yeah.
It's a form of abuse. Yeah. To send your child out into this world unprepared to deal with anything. And I see that as a person who supervises people and has supervised people for a very long time. Many people are ill-equipped to even scratch the surface of adulthood because everybody does it for them.
Yep.
And like I don't know, you ever been on the YouTube rabbit hole before? So last couple of weeks, I've been on the YouTube rabbit hole of watching police interactions.
Yes, a few weeks.
And well, maybe whatever. Don't judge me. I just think it's cool because it's like you get to like almost like study human behavior.
Yeah. You do.
And what's the first thing that most of these people do when they get pulled over? I gotta call my mom. You are 28 years old calling your mama? I gotta call my mama. I don't know what to do. I gotta call my mama. Men and women, by the way, gotta call. The first thing they do when they get pulled over, the first thing they do when they've been drinking and driving, doing something they shouldn't have been doing, they want to call their mama. I've seen 30-year-olds, 30-something, trying to call their mom on the side of the road. The police officer's like, what is wrong with you? You are a licensed driver in the United States of America and you can't handle getting put over for speeding or a ticket or a decision that you made?
Nope.
Gotta call my mama. What mama gonna do?
Nothing.
Mama might run your house. She don't run them streets. I guarantee you. Never in the history of me watching these interactions has a mom been able to stop a cop from doing anything that he wanted to do.
That's what happened to Bobby Boucher. Mama said, yeah. Bobby Boucher thought his mom was everything. Then he found out at the end she was hot and garbage.
Yep.
And she had messed that man, grown tail man, water boy.
Still pee in the bed.
Yeah. Yep. Mess him up.
Yep. I don't expect you, and I never expected you to deal with my sons the way I would deal with them.
Right.
You and our
and
daughter.
I can't.
You can't. Yeah. You and our daughter have a very unique. Sometimes y'all be sitting there talking about something, like you be trying to explain something to her, and I'm like, what is she saying? What are you talking about? Like, that don't even make sense to me. But then she's like, oh, okay. I want to speak. I don't get it. I'm like, no, I just said this.
Yeah.
But I'm coming at it from as a father, as a male, and my sons. Sometimes you'll be like, what'd you say? Don't worry about it. I got it. And but they'll get it.
And I'm like, you got it.
And we move forward, and that's the way it works. It's really important to have that symbiotic relationship, mother and father and children, and where we both know our strengths and our weaknesses. But so many times we are taught that mama's word is the last word, and that is actually not the way it should be, because mama is going to have a hard time preparing a young man for the world that he's going to live in.
She's ill-equipped. She can't do it.
It's impossible to watch from the outside and understand the male experience. And it's so asinine when you think about it. That how arrogant is it to believe that you would know anything about being a young black male in this world? It's the equivalent of me thinking I know what it feels like to have a period. Ugh. Or premenstrual, or have a baby. Like, I don't know anything. I can only look at it from the outside and be like, that looks like it kind of sucks a little bit, but I have not experienced it. Yeah. So when you say it in those terms, people are like, oh, okay, yeah, but the actual, when it plays out, everybody think mama knows everything when it comes to raising this boy, and she doesn't, because she can't. It is an impossibility. Just like I would never sit there and tell my daughter, hey girl, get over the menstrual cramps. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
So that's why I defer to you and say, hey, she needs some help over there. I don't know.
Yeah. And what I've seen is most of the time when mom does that, especially if she has a male child, and let's say she is a single parent and she's trying to raise this son to be this whatever type of man that she thinks she's raising. A lot of times what's happening is that mom, number one, that we're seeing, that I've observed, is that she doesn't realize that, number one, you made a bad choice when you chose the daddy because, things didn't work out and just wasn't a great, relationship for you. And then number two, you try to customize and make the man that you wanted.
Yes.
So you try to customize that for the world, but no, baby. We're not.
You're right.
Yeah.
You done? I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so we lose because what you're doing, you're softening and you're telling him you should be more emotionally intelligent and you should be, do this for your woman and do this. So you're trying to customize, build a boo son version so that I guess the next woman in his life will get whatever you always dreamed of and didn't get. I don't know. It's crazy.
But what happens though, on the flip of that, is that person that she tells him to be goes out in the dating market and get destroyed because you're building him to suit you, and you're not building him to be what typically what a woman would want, because you didn't really give him the truth about female nature and what women are really attracted to. So, come to the end of the video here. The reality of fatherhood is that we have to be on our post as fathers.
Yeah,
that's the end of it. That's the end all and be all of it. We have to be on the post, and you guys have to allow us to be the fathers that we need to be, because we have a different perspective of the world. Yeah. We have a whole different approach to it and a whole different perspective of the world that we live in. And our kids need that perspective. And for too long, a lot of our children have gotten one side of the story and not both. Yeah. And they've gone out to the world and they've gotten hurt because of it. Emotionally, mentally, and physically hurt because of it, because they didn't have that side of it. Yeah. Not every boss is going to be your best friend. You're not the best thing since sliced bread. You're just a person, and then a lot of times you're just a number. You're an employee number, and that's okay. But you got to be aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that, guys, I think we end the video.
I love it.
That's enough said.